Good morning, YouTube. Newton, say hello. You know that people like you more than they do me? So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the most challenging part you have to overcome before being able to buy yourself a WRX or STI. And this is kind of in general, and you could definitely use this across all platforms. And the hardest and most challenging part is finances. And I feel as though school and life doesn't really prepare you for it. You have to learn finances all on your own, and I learned it myself as well. And of course, I talk to people about finances again and again before they even get to the part of looking at and consider buying a WRX or an STI. And so I wanted to talk about that today and kind of just touch upon buying a used WRX too, because I've seen a lot of you guys ask about how should I approach buying a used WRX aside from approaching the dealership. And so starting off, guys, finances is really hard to talk about. I know that when you look at the finances, you look at the numbers, sometimes it doesn't check out, and it's frustrating, right? Because if you really want this car, you're not able to get it because the numbers don't equate to it. And so what do, right? Do you take a loan? Do you wait? Do you haggle down the price point? That's ultimately all up to you and your skill set and what you're able to do. I told you guys already, 3 years. I know many of you guys, want the car immediately, and trust me, I know exactly where you're coming from. I know exactly how you feel, but it's okay to wait a little bit. You're not missing out on much. In the end, it's just a car. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but if you're not financially ready yet, don't. Save a little bit, and don't clean out your savings just to get this car, okay? I highly recommend against it. I've had a few of you guys say, hey, look, I have this much money saved up, and I asked, okay, do you have any money after that? If you were to use this 10, 15, 20K down pay to this car, do you have any money left over? And they're like, no, and I'm like, don't do it. So, with that, the other thing is buying used. A lot of you guys ask about buying used. Well, Tom, I'm gonna go the cheaper route. I wanna buy the car used. I highly advise against it just because it's this platform. This platform is, very popular, and so it's already a red flag when you see a WRX and STI on the used market. Most often it's from user error. And like I said, this vehicle is very prone to being modified, and if you see it on the used market, approach it with skepticism. Like, be as skeptical as possible and question everything. So it's actually quite easy when you're in the used market. You ask tons and tons of questions. If they have documentation and proof to show records, maintenance, updates, everything, those are green signs to check mark. However, if they don't, or if they're kind of dodging the questions, those are red flags to walk away from the deal. And it's also a lot easier to haggle from a private seller than it is a dealership, because with a private seller, let's say I'll use a 2003 Bug-Eye, for example. Let's say you have someone selling a 2003 Bug-Eye for like 180K miles or something like that, and they're selling it for $8 grand. And the Kelley Blue Book on that thing is like $3 grand. But you know that due to the popularity of the vehicle, the accepted price is around 5 Gs. So what you do is you go ask the simple questions: maintenance, records, upkeep, check it out in person, bring a mechanic friend if you have one, check out the vehicle, every ding, every mark, every chip, make note of that. Even in the interior, if there's damages, everything, check mark everything and make note of that. So that way at the end of the deal you say, hey, look, I understand that you're selling this car for this much. However, based on all of this, I have to deal with it as the next owner, so this is my offer. So let's say this guy's selling for 8 Gs, I offer 5 grand firm. And this kind of teaches you how to haggle and teaches you how to kind of prepare yourself to be rejected, right? So in sales, just be very direct and say, hey, look, I offer you 5 grand, and be willing to walk away from it. Say, hey, look, I know that this vehicle is very popular, and I know that you have a bunch of people emailing you, contacting you to buy this car. So if you're not able to find anyone to buy this car at your price of $8,000, this is my offer. And you have my contact information, and feel free to contact me if you know, you're willing to make the transaction with me, and you kind of walk away. And so that's the same thing that you kind of use to apply when you approach the dealership as well. And in addition to that, you know, it gives you experience, right? It gives you experience to haggle, because in sales, it's all about emotional. People buy things based off of emotion and how they feel. So if you feel good about the transaction, you're gonna buy it. If not, you're gonna walk away. And as a salesman, if you're really good at selling things to people, you get them on the emotional tug, the emotional heartstrings, right? Like, hey, look, the reason why I personally bought this WRX is because I wanted to be a part of the community. After 3 long years of waiting, after graduating from college, I thought I wanted the car, and I thought that it would be a phase and it would be gone in a few years. But sure enough, 3 years later, I still want this freaking car, and I'm like, okay, there's something wrong with me. Either I'm not logical, or I really, really want this car. Logic doesn't explain that. When you want something, you want it. You know, you can't explain it to someone, you just want it. So I went ahead and I bought the car, and I was able to learn how to haggle, and I got the deal at a price that I was comfortable with. And you know, I consider this car an investment. Logically speaking, it's not a good investment, but you know, this is my YouTube platform. I want to share with you guys the genuine ownership experience of this car, and I'm not modifying it for quite some time because I want to give you guys real, actual ownership experience of this car unmolested, you know, versus the typical WRX clone channels. They're like, hey, yo, check it out, I bought this WRX. Hey, check it out, I bought a Cobb access port. Oh, I just bought me a J-pipe. Oh, I just bought myself a new intercooler, flex fuel kit, and blah, 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 right? So I could be like another typical clone, but I rather not. I want to be genuine to you guys and share with you guys real facts and knowledge and stuff. So buying used is just a check mark. You learn to haggle. It kind of helps you and preps you for if you ever decide to go to the car dealership. And so of course, timing, knowledge, everything, your ability to be very, very firm and direct, it goes a long way. And so really in the end, you got to do your research and know exactly what you're getting yourself into, and make sure that everything checks out. I highly recommend bringing a mechanic friend, because I know enough, but I don't know the full details of this car, right? So especially the EJ platform, I know the gist of it. Like the older models, they tend to burn oil consumption, you know, rod knocks, ringland failure, and you know, other potential problems with the older vehicle, right? So I highly advise against buying a used, especially for this vehicle, unless you know the person or you trust the person very well. Otherwise, I recommend going brand new. And I'm not endorsed by the dealership or anything like that. I recommend going brand new because buying brand new is a clean slate. It allows you to fail with ease, right? So you have warranty to protect you, and it's a brand new modern day vehicle. And if you're able to afford, if you're able to make the payments, you know, go brand new. And also it goes to show that you support the brand and you support the platform. So, you know, when you buy a brand new vehicle, it counts towards Subaru. And Subaru, at the end of the year, when they make the analysis, they're like, hey, look, check it out, people really like this brand. But on the flip side, if you don't like the brand and you don't want to support it, then don't buy it. So it provides a message to our parent company and say, hey, look, we really like the product, please continue making more. Because if sales continually decline, we're not gonna have a WRX or an STI in the near future. And I just realized my Newton pooped on me. You think I'm a load of poo, huh? So, parting words, if you're still, you know, considering getting yourself a WRX or an STI, even if it's used, I recommend joining a forum, joining a Facebook forum. It's actually easier that way to find a car versus going on Craigslist, going on the Facebook, you know, marketplace. Go onto the forums, and whichever year, model, or generation that you want, right? Go join that specific forum and say, hey, look, guys, I'm in the market for one. I'm looking for these type of specs. Make a post and have people directly contact you. I think that's the easiest way. If I had known better, I would have done that. But I was a bit impulsive, and so I kind of just went ahead, looked at the bug eye. I went on Craigslist, I went on to the marketplace, couldn't find anything. I went on to Auto Tempest, Google, everything, and I was like, you know what, in the end, I had a negative experience because everyone who had a bug eye was trying to sell it to me for at least 8 to 10 G's, and I was like, I'm not gonna drop 8 to 10 G's on a vehicle that's, you know, almost 20 years old, right? So I was like, instead, I decided to go brand new. And you know, in the 6 months that I've owned my vehicle, it's been phenomenal. There has been no problems with it. And don't believe everything that you read online, right? And the other aspect of the forums is that people tend to be trolls, and people tend to be very, very negative on the forums. And so often you see people post about all the bad things occurring to their car from user error. And there are a few who, you know, have a completely stock WRX or STI that are having issues, and, you know, those are maybe the lemon vehicles. However, people tend to congregate and kind of focus more on the negativity online, and they talk more about it, about how bad this platform is. And so kind of take that with a grain of salt. There's a bunch of people with cars that there's no problems with it, and we don't post stuff unless there's something going on. So like, I don't post on the forums and say, hey, what a lovely day, I've owned this vehicle for 6 months and nothing has been wrong with it. No one posts like that. People post saying stuff like, hey, look, what's going on? Hey, how come there's a creaking sound in my engine bay? Hey, how come the lights are flickering? How come this is happening? So, you know, take a step away from the negativity and kind of just approach this car buying experience directly, right? And make sure you do your research and make sure you have the money for it. You know, and in parting words is, if you're gonna buy brand new and you currently have a vehicle that you're tired of, you don't want it anymore, and you're upside down on the loan, I highly advise you not to trade in that vehicle and tack on that amount of money that you own onto the new vehicle. That is not a financially smart decision to do. You know, really in the end, ask yourself, can you still live with this vehicle? And, you know, is there anything wrong with it? If there's nothing wrong with that vehicle, drive it and be patient as much as you can. I know exactly how you feel. And, you know, I was unhappy with my vehicle, my previous vehicle, and I just wanted to get rid of it. And, you know, if you can, be patient and kind of wait it out. But if you really must, if you want to get rid of that car ASAP, then see if you can private sell it, or go to CarMax and see if you can get more money out of it than to trade it in and, you know, roll over your negative equity onto the new vehicle. I highly advise against it, because even now to date, the majority of WRX and STI owners that are on the forums are in debt, or their car is upside down on their loan, and that's not a good thing. So I'm one of the few that, you know, if I were to get into a car wreck, you know, my car is worth more than the amount of money that I owe, and I'll get a paycheck back. So, you know, take that in mind. If you guys have any personal questions that you guys want to be, that you guys want me to talk about, or if you guys want me to help you personally, and give you guys some coaching or guidance, you know, I'll do that freely, you know, and email me at tomvangtv@gmail.com. Otherwise, if you guys have your own personal input, you know, comment down below in the description box, I mean in the comment, sorry. And with that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Say goodbye, Newton. Bye-bye. Ooh.